Hey, let's not even mess around, all right? Let's get serious about our Monday. NFL is back. Let me show you why. Is it great catches? Oh, hell no. Is it great passes? Oh, hell no. Did Tom Brady come back? Oh, hell no. You know how we know the NFL is back? Because big, fat drunks in other men's jerseys are throwing hands in the crowd. Let's have a look at the 49ers and their peeps and what was going down in the stands the other day. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I ain't getting in the middle of those crazy people. Yeah, George Kittle in there. I saw some Steve Young in there, Samuel in there, some security guard who's like, hey, look, hey, get over here. These people are crazy. Mr. White folks got mad at the NFL game, and Mr. White folks started throwing hands, and I think the NFL is back, baby. Let me ask you a question, serious question about this. Is it at every NFL game? I got to tell you, rarely. I don't even know if I've ever seen a fight at a Colts game. I've been going to Colts games since, I don't know, 09, maybe 10. So 10, 12 years, had season tickets for 6 of those years. And I got to tell you, I don't think I've ever seen a fight. But the NFL does not mess around. They do not mess around. Those fans are pissed. I got my jersey. It's tucked in if I'm an older guy going to a Colts game. And I'm going to throw some hands because, well, you said something disrespectful. All right, here's an interesting question. This happened this week, and I got to ask you. Golf is the one sport where everyone is supposed to be quiet. Golf and tennis, right? You're sitting at a match, not a tennis match, excuse me. You're sitting at a golf tournament event, and you're live betting. You got your phone. You're live betting. You can live bet each hole. So Max Homa is putting for like a par. And this is interesting to me. It's at the BMW Classic. He's in his bed, a little short putt, but a guy starts yelling, Noonan! Because he had a bet. Now, it was only a $3 bet that Homa found out this guy had bet. But what if it wasn't? What if it wasn't? What if it was a $100,000 bet or a $5,000 bet or a bet, of some significant money? If you are there and you can influence the outcome, because let's be honest, you're not going to influence the outcome of a basketball game waving your hands when a guy shoots free throws or yelling at somebody on a football field. That's not happening. But in a golf tournament, you're on the ropes. Everybody's quiet. And you scream in a backswing. All of a sudden, there's a hook. Ball goes left. You bet for the guy not to get a par. Ball's in the trees. Ball's out of bounds. Ball's in a hazard. You can't influence it. I never thought about that. Homa went nuts. Probably a drunk. Hope for his case, or else he's just the biggest loser there is. But he was cheering and yelling at Chris for missing his short putt. It's on us to stay focused or whatever, but it's just annoying when it happens. Fans are so great about being quiet when we play. Think they're awesome. When nobody ever talks, it's when anybody ever talks, it's unintentional. It just sucks when it's incredibly intentional. His friend specifically said it's a $3 bet. Not that money matters, but that's a frustrating number. No, serious business. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if someone like me didn't even think about it, I guarantee you there's people all around that didn't even think about it that are now thinking about it. Hey, I don't give a damn. You can kick me out of the tournament all you want. You can take my little badge. You can do whatever. I just won $5,000 on my DraftKings because Homa bogey. Serious business there. That to me is one incredibly interesting question. Basketball, we all think, hey, have your little kid wave. Whose daughter was it? I'm sorry. Whose daughter was it that was waving and they were missing free? That's fine. That doesn't happen really, but it can and would happen in golf. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to get interesting. Mark my words. Mark my freaking words, because you can bet it based on the whole. All right. Joe Biden spoke. Let's hear from Joltin' Joe Biden, shall we? Joe Biden, once again, we don't know what he's doing. We don't know where he's at. We don't have any idea. But Joltin' Joe Biden cannot stop sniffing. He apparently is in Maui today, and wait till they tell him the beaches are closed. Wait till they tell him there's no sandcastles. I got that from Jimmy Falia, who's one of our Fox comedians. All right, let's hear from Joltin' Joe Biden.
His America First policy, walking away from the rest of the world, has made us weaker, not stronger.
So America First makes us weaker, not stronger. Let me see if I understand this. Putting America first, well, maybe then, if that is true, then maybe what you're doing in the American First bill, maybe that's not the right bill. Maybe America should be first, but maybe what you're doing in it, because this is what you do, you put all kind of pork, you put all kind of crap, you put all kind of garbage in, and then a little bit is actual what the bill is. We all know this. We see it when the Climate Reduction Act was called the other day, the Inflation Reduction Act was called the other day, really an environmental climate change bill. What? What are you talking about? See, you put all the crap in, so maybe, Mr. President, I don't know, then maybe get the crap out and actually put America first. No. No. If it isn't good enough, then make it better. Look at him yelling at us. Look at that Führer yelling at us. Oh, the Führer is mad. Hey, you got to listen to this, man. Tommy Pham, who's a nice player. Tommy Pham's a nice player. Played with the Cardinals for a little bit. He's a good player. Tommy Pham goes off. Tommy Pham goes absolutely bat blank crazy. And I'm here for it. Let's hear from the great Tommy Pham. Woo! He goes off on a fan.
Strikeout. You called me a piece of I did not.
Oh, he did it.
Harden straight up. He ain't gonna be disrespectful like that. I got witnesses.
You disrespectful.
Piece of Go strike out. Go strike out.
It's always funny. We always got a white man. A white man feel like he can disrespect
now it's
you
race.
some kind of way.
Now it's race.
Because you know what? A black man or a Latin don't do that.
Race.
Wow.
That's exactly what you wrote in.
Wow.
We got another one? Tommy Pham just, man. Hey, you know what? You shouldn't do that. See, here's the deal. Now, I get it. The guy with the go strikeout thinks that he's the man, right? But don't you feel like an idiot? Don't you? Tommy Pham, he has severe anger issues. He was wanting to go off something. The video is from my wife that after he started losing his blank. I'm not here. I'm not there today. Brian is the guy who sits directly in front of it. In season 3, we've had our tickets. He has never been disrespectful to a player. He might take some lighthearted. Oh, there you go. See, this is the deal. Right there, you know this. Patrick Daly is a jackass. Right there. Now, I'm experienced enough to know that when you say, right there, he might take some light-hearted jabs. No. See, these people are complete jackasses. That's it. They're jackasses. And I look at the guy's picture. Here's the guy's picture. 100% jackass. He might take some light-hearted jabs. Oh, really? Oh, all right. The go strike out jab was after he started going up. I'll also go on record on saying that he teases the white players just as much as the minorities. Is disappointed to see Pham go to the red. He teases. These little wimpy ass D-bags. He teases. Oh, really? How about you sit your fat, stupid ass down, eat your popcorn, hug your ridiculous wife, and sit there and watch a game instead of playful jab. Oh, you know these guys are just complete jackasses. Tommy Pham look, all you got to do is look at him. You know he's a jackass. You don't even have to think about it. Tommy Pham, since this guy wants to block me and act like his friend is a model sin, I'll put up $100,000 if he passes the lie detector saying he didn't call me a piece of blank. If he doesn't pass, which he won't, MLB bans him for life from the stadiums. That's exactly right. That guy is a piece of garbage. This guy, I understand. Yeah, I'm just teasing. These guys piss me off. I had not an altercation. I had some little Michigan fan come up to me at a Nickelback concert. Man, you're mean to Jim Harbaugh. I go, just leave me the hell alone. You know what I mean? Just shut up. Just leave. And then it got heated. And a buddy of mine's like, and I'm like, hey, look, man. You know, well, the guy kind of was going, and I said, look, you do it. And I'm standing there waiting for my wife to get out of the bathroom. This guy is a jack. Good for Tommy Pham. You know this guy's a lying fool. You know he is. Not Pham, the other guy. Good for Tommy Pham. I'm very happy. Bad for James Harden. Why? Because James Harden can kiss my backside. James Harden, it's too late to fix my relationship with the Sixers. I'm sad. The Sixers made me sad. Oh, okay. The Sixers made me sad. All right. Well, good. If I were the Sixers, I would say one word. Goodbye. 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 See you later. Adios. Hasta la vista. Sayonara. La noche. Goodbye. He's done. He ain't done with nothing. Good. I tell you what James Harden should do. Wouldn't you agree with this? I think James Harden should just sit out. Just sit out. Why not? Seriously. Why not? Just sit out. Hey, give the $36,000 back. You know what I mean? Just give it to him back. You don't need it. On the other side of James Harden is Jaylen Brown. On the other side of douchebaggery is good guy baggery. Now, Jaylen Brown signed a Supermax deal, 6 years. Listen to this. 5 years, $304 million. That's over $60 million a year for a guy most of you don't know. Well, he sent a letter to media members that voted for him. Jaylen Brown said, hey, look, you guys voting for me, put him on the All-NBA team. Jaylen Brown reciprocated by saying, hey, thank you. I really appreciate you doing that. And now, of course, the media is going to talk about it being a classy gesture, which maybe it is. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it is. I want to thank you for your All-NBA vote this past year. I recognize the power and weight of the current system of All-NBA voting and impact it has on players like me in the current NBA. I also recognize that is not something any journalist like yourself signed up for. Nonetheless, I know you took the time to consider all worthy candidates. Appreciate your voting. Wishing you and your family all the best this upcoming season, and thank you. Pretty good. Now, that's really good. In an era where all we do is see entitled little punks. We have in Indiana. Now think about this. We had a big argument going here apparently about who do you pay? What collective do you pay for NIL money for the mediocrity that is Indiana? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's our argument. And at Indiana basketball, we worry about headbands and we worry about, things like our brand. James Harden, he's mad about it. You're paying $35 million. Jaylen Brown is the anti-IU basketball. Jaylen Brown is the anti-James Harden. I'm all in on I am all in on Jaylen Brown. I don't know whether he's any good or not, and I don't think anybody would ever say, you know what, I'm going to the game to see Jaylen Brown. You know what I mean? I don't think maybe Maybe I'm just out of touch with the greats of the NBA, but I watch him play, and I think he's really good. And I remember Brad Stevens 100 years ago, before they drafted, told me about him. I go, no kidding. I thought he was good at California, playing for Conzo Martin, but I really didn't follow him. You know what I mean? I really didn't. I just didn't. I don't know, but good for him. I mean, this is the anti. This is just a good dude, not wanting more. He got the bag, not wanting more. But, you know, I don't know. I like it. Why not? All right, Baker Mayfield. This is an incredible story. This is an incredible story, and I'm going to feel bad for Baker Mayfield. 2018, Baker Mayfield comes in the league. And 2018 to 2023, the dude's been in the NFL. He wants to know where $12 million of his dollars is. Okay, that's enough. We've heard that before, right? This goes back to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's agent and all kind of crap. This goes way back. Agents and people taking players' money. But this is different. Why is this different, you say? Because the financial group is Baker Mayfield's dad. The group is Baker Mayfield's family-owned investment business. Now, I'm going to say that again. His own family. Baker Mayfield and his wife are searching for $12 million. And he's in a legal battle for $12 million with his family, his father, James. It's called Camwood Capital Management Group, LLC, and Camwood Ventures, LP. Apparently, what they want is they want the financial records turned over. They're not saying it was stolen. What they're saying is we want to see our records so they can figure out what has happened to roughly $12 million that was invested in this company. They don't know, according to the Mayfields, I want to get this right, if their money has been properly and competently invested, has been stolen, or otherwise misappropriated, or something in between. Apparently, this is a petition, not a lawsuit, but a petition oftentimes leads to a lawsuit. I just want you to think about this. All he's asking for is his records going back to 2018. Now, think about this. I'm reading this, okay? And I don't know Camwood. I don't want to know Camwood. But just the fact that this is in print, that this is on Twitter, this is on social media, it's devastating, if not crippling, if not destroying James Mayfield's business. Would you want to invest with a company that apparently, at least to a certain degree, has misrepresented or at least can't find $12 million of his own son? I wouldn't. Most wouldn't. See, this becomes a caricature. This becomes who you are. Who is Camwood? Well, they're the guys that lost Baker Mayfield's money. You can't survive this as a business. I mean, maybe you have such long-term investors that you can't, I don't know. But you can't survive it. There's no way. Think about it. Man. Hey, let's all come over for Thanksgiving. Yo, Pops, I got 12 mil with you. Any idea? Nah, I don't want to talk about it. No. Pops, I got 12 million somewhere here. I gave it to you. Just show me. We're good. We're not good, Pops. Come on. What's going on? Serious business. Can you imagine? I can't. All right. Every day it happens. Every day. You can set your dial by an NFL player or a former NFL player doing something completely idiotic. No, seriously. This time, it's Robert Quinn. I respect what Robert's doing here, though. Not the first part. So Robert Quinn, who was a stud for a lot of years with the Bears, all right, he, in Summerville, South Carolina, he drove his car, listen to this story, into 4 vehicles, a gate and a light post. So Quinn's just out of his mind, apparently, and he's driving into stuff. He's banging into cars. He's banging into a light post. He's banging into a gate. Then He said, hey, don't worry about it. He's apparently belligerent. He's insane, right? Who knows? He kept saying, according to the report, oh, don't worry about it. I'll buy you new cars. I'll buy you a new car. Let's go to dealership. I told him to get off my property. This according to Lisa Bell, who he's just banging around into. I told him to get off my property, and he proceeded to put his hands on me and slap me, not once but twice. Robert Quinn, baby. Now, he's facing 7 different charges, including third-degree assault and battery, hit and run with property damage, 4 counts of leaving the scene of an accident involving an unattended vehicle, failure to report striking fixtures on or adjacent to the highway. Robert Quinn had to post a $155 bond, which is $15.50, 10%, right? Isn't that it? Good for Robert Quinn. Now, Robert Quinn is a menace on the roads. 2012 in Missouri. He was fined for driving while intoxicated. And that idiot got off on a $277. That's it. All right. Well, good for our Quinn. Our Quinn decides, hey, man, I'm going to go banging into stuff. And not like, sexually. He's just banging into cars. He's banging into people. He's banging into posts. He's banging into all kind of stuff. I like Brandel Chamblee. And Brandel Chamblee is smart because people pay attention to what he says. He was a good golfer, played on the tour, which means he was a great golfer. I think he won once or twice. He's not on the Golf Channel. He's one of the most interesting guys that there is in golf. He is not afraid to say what is on his mind. And that makes him interesting to me. He is not afraid to say things that others will not. And that makes him interesting to me. But this is stupid. I mean, let's just be honest. This is just straight stupid. Talking about Phil Mickelson in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he has any business being in the Hall of Fame. He's caused irreparable damage to the game. And if the tour's philanthropic aspect dies, the autopsy should read live. It should read Phil. Well, that's well and good. But see, that's the difference between guys in golf and guys in basketball. See, in college basketball, you got to cheat. I mean, Calipari, probation. Gene Cade, probation. Bob Huggins, a myriad of messes. John Wooden never won until he got a guy paying players named, what the hell was his name? Sam something. Can't remember his last name. What the hell is his name? It's going to come to me. So you got all these guys, right? You got all these guys doing all this cheat in college basketball. And they are celebrated. Sure, they're celebrated. They just are. Well, okay. Golf, they're mad. Golf, they don't mess around, man. Golf, they say things like honor and respect and all those kind of things. They do. They absolutely do. I don't think Chamblee's right. I think Chamblee's nuts. In golf, they care. They do. They discuss honor. They want dignity. They want you to do things the right way. They want you to act a certain way. In college basketball, you just cheat. Cheating, you're in. Think about it. I mean, Roy Williams had some kind of thing because he was paying back. In college basketball, you just cheat. I mean, I can go down the list for you. I mean, Bill Self's in the Hall of Fame. How'd that go? You know what I mean? Gene Cade just got in. Gene Cade put Purdue on probation when he started winning. All of a sudden, Cade won 3 Big Ten titles in a row, and next thing you know, they're on probation. You don't think one correlated to the other? And I like Gene Cade. I feel bad even talking bad about Gene Cade. I do. I'm sorry. But Brandel Chamblee's wrong here. It has nothing to do, the Hall of Fame, at least for Phil, you can't take away what he's done on the field. You just can't. Even you can go back to his win as an amateur. I mean, Phil Mickelson is one of the all-time legends in golf, whether you like what he's done with LIV or whether you dislike what he's done with LIV. And you can't take that away from the guy. You just can't. I mean, I get what Chamblee's saying. I do. I swear. I get it. I promise you I do. But let's be honest. You can't do that. College basketball, you got to cheat to get in. The only way. That's it. All right, John Morant. John Morant, his card, his bubblegum card, shot up big time in value. This is very weird. Because, I'm going to read this right, because Michael Orr's parents are spotted in the background with other card. Here, let's see this.
You'll never believe who's sitting behind John Morant on this rookie card. Most people know that Young Dolph and Key Glock are sitting behind John Morant on his Panini Chronicles rookie card, but what we didn't know is who's sitting on the other side. Recently, people have pointed out that on this side of John Morant are the wife and husband from the Blind Side movie. Since people have identified the couple in the background of the card, PSA 10 copies are reselling on eBay for about $250.
How about that? That's pretty good. Like, I wouldn't have looked in the background, would you have? I don't know. I like, hey, well, it's pretty cool. That guy's in there, Yeah, all right. I collected bubblegum cards back in the day, and I never even thought to look into the crowd and see who may or may not have been in there. I think it's pretty cool. I do. I wish I had all my cards. I would go back and look and see who's in there. Hey, I got a lot of football to talk about today. Colts fans are up in arms. Why? Because people went to the game, Anthony Richardson didn't play, and the media and others are saying, well, you got to play him. I ain't playing him, and I ain't listening to the media. He who listens to the media ends up sitting with the media. If you don't think he should play, you don't play him. Well, you know, Patrick Mahomes played. I don't care if Patrick Mahomes played. Anthony Richardson isn't playing. For whatever the reason, remember this. I try to educate you. There is always a backstory. So the reason that Anthony Richardson didn't play, well, do you know what it is? I don't. Maybe they didn't want to get him hurt. Maybe they did not like the linebacker. Or maybe they didn't like the matchup with the offensive guard against a safety blitzing. I don't know. But I guarantee it is. There ain't one dude in the media that does. So if your team didn't play a guy and you're mad about it, get over yourself, because coaches aren't trying to screw players. Like, you know, this guy Shane Steichen isn't trying to put Anthony Richardson in a bad spot. He's trying to put him in the best spot. He's trying to put his team in the best spot. If some little media puke who only does things for clicks doesn't like it, well, then who cares? That's it. It's that simple. I don't know what else to tell you. Period. We'll be right back. Armando next.
Hey, Davey Hudson of OutKick here. We are at SEC Media Days 2023 in Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to go talk to some players, see what they have to say. What's the best purchase you've made from an NIL deal so far?
Tag watch right here.
Far.
Best purchase? I probably just give it back to my son for real. That's probably my best purchase every time.
Man, pay my truck off. Definitely.
A house. My wife and I bought a house, so that's been huge. Being able to save that money up and buy a house.
This chain here.
The best purchase? I'd probably say helping my mom out with school.
Ooh, the best purchase? Probably the shoes. The shoes I got on right now.
The best purchase I made, well, the best NIL deal I've had is free steaks from Marksbury Farms, so keep me fed and beefed up.
With it.
Ooh, purchase? Probably a new golf bag. Or recently I played TPC Sawgrass this past weekend, and that was from I used that money from a deal I made, so that's up there too.
Probably getting my sister through college, helping my family out a lot. That's probably my best purchase I've done.
Best purchase? Probably my my mom and dad anniversary gift.
The best purchase I've made? I got a yoga mat the other day, and that's helped me a lot. Just flexibility and everything like that, so probably that.
Best purchase? My smile.
Best purchase? I would say my best purchase was having my school supply drive.
Landon, what is your favorite sports movie of all time?
Remember the Titans for sure. Sport movie, I say Love and Basketball. That's my favorite.
Got to be Remember the Titans for sure.
Remember the Titans, and it's top movie ever.
Probably longest yard.
I am very excited because, well, college football starts next week. The NFL is rocking and rolling. It's getting ready to go. Fans are fighting in the bleachers, in the concession area, and, of course, in the stands. So that means NFL football is back. But we got a weird story, Armando. Baker Mayfield is fighting Kyle Trask for the starting job in Miami, all while it looks like he's mad at his family. He's trying to dig up $12 million here. What's going on with Baker Mayfield and the Fish, or in the Bucks?
Yeah, so look, if I was unaware as what happened to $12 million of mine, I'd like to know where they were as well. So he's doing his due diligence legally. I'm sure he's not doing it. His representatives are doing it. It just so happens that it involves family. Yeesh. And so he's doing that, but he's got more pressing issues in that he needs to beat out Kyle Trask, who, by the way, isn't that good. It shouldn't be this close. It shouldn't be a thing. I mean, Baker Mayfield has started a lot of games in the NFL, has a lot of experience, has a huge reservoir of experience advantage over Kyle Trask, and yet Todd Bowles, the head coach, continues to say that it's still a competition. My guess is, and my educated guess at that, is that Baker Mayfield will be the starter week 1.
Yeah, and, I would have thought that it was just a formality. Is Baker Mayfield any good? Why do I feel like Baker Mayfield is better or should be better than Kyle Trask, as you just said? But I also feel like Baker Mayfield wasn't a bad get for the Bucks, but maybe not if this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield should be better than Baker Mayfield, okay? He was the first overall pick in the 2018 draft.
Right.
Had not a terrible rookie season, a rookie season that you might expect of any rookie quarterback. And followed that up with eventually getting the Browns into the playoff one year. But the last couple of years have been a kind of a disaster, really. He got replaced in Cleveland by Deshaun Watson, and he got all up in his feelings about that when it was, from a pure football standpoint, whatever you think about Deshaun Watson, whatever you think about that contract, Deshaun Watson is an upgrade over Baker Mayfield. Number 2, he goes to Carolina, beats out Sam Darnold for the starting job, did it within the span of 2 weeks. So what is this Kyle Trask wrestling match that he's into? But nonetheless, in Carolina, he was a disappointment and couldn't last the season. He goes to the Los Angeles Rams, and they kind of, use him up, and they wanted him back, but he wanted a chance to start. And here he is with the Bucks. I got to say this about the Bucks. If they can get their offensive line straight, if they can figure out whether Ryan Jensen is an issue or not, and right now he is the starting center, they should have a pretty decent team. Their problem is the starting quarterback, who happens to be and will happen to be Baker Mayfield. So, Baker, the last starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Bucks, took them to the Super Bowl and then went to the playoffs a couple of years in a row. So what do you got, brother? Because this is your last chance to start in the NFL.
Right, and that's the thing. The other part is what you just said. You're replacing Tom Brady not only in the eyes of the fans, but in that building with players that played with the greatest of all time, that's a little bit added. You can't go BS your way through this because people have seen how the greatest reacts and acts, no matter whether it's in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. They saw greatness in that building in Mayfield. You can't BS your way through that with those guys.
Look, let's be honest. If Tom Brady woke up with a wild hair idea this morning, having not, thrown a football in anger in, 6-7 months, and decided, I want to come back and play football, he would be a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield, who's been working off season, who's been in training camp and playing in preseason games. So that is just a fact. 45, 46-year-old Tom Brady, better than Baker Mayfield in his prime. The idea for Baker Mayfield on a one-year contract is don't screw it up. It's not that hard. My God, you've got Mike Evans. You got Chris Godwin. Don't screw it up, dude. That defense is good. The division is bad. Just don't screw it up.
That's pretty simple. Do you like the Jets as much as everyone seems to like the Jets now that obviously Rodgers, but Dalvin Cook on board? I don't know. Are they going to make another move for linemen? What are they going to do?
Their line is a problem. Their offensive line is a problem. The Jets are a great, mighty ship that is made of rubber. Because seriously, they've got all these like beautiful suites, and they've got the great engine, and it's like the captain's good, and they've got all these wonderful pools and amenities, but the offensive line is a piece of poo. And so right now, the foundation is lacking. And when your foundation is lacking, typically there are issues. Aaron Rodgers, who is obviously the starting quarterback, says that he needs a starting offensive line for at least a week before the start of the season so that they can find cohesion and find chemistry and all that football stuff. I have news for Aaron Rodgers. You're lying. They need more than a week. It takes more than a week for an offensive line to become cohesive. You're just basically telling people lies if you expect them to be that. And here's the thing. They don't have that yet. So even though you think it's only going to take a week before the season, yeah, it's going to take longer, and you're not there yet.
Man. And you got a 39-year-old quarterback who looks good. He looks fine, by the way. I mean, I don't know what looks good means, but, he still is 39. It's not like Justin Fields back there. Speaking of which, I'm all in on Justin Fields, big boy. I think he's the breakout player in the NFL this year. Do you agree? And do you think this is do or die for Fields?
Well, I would say this to you. The Chicago Bears, they have a lot of draft compensation picks in their quiver that they can take out and shoot at the next draft if indeed Justin Fields is not the quarterback that everyone hopes and expects. If they are drafting relatively high, they picked up a lot of draft compensation from Carolina. So for the chance for Carolina to go with Bryce Young, my point is this. Justin Fields is on notice. They've upgraded the offensive line. They upgraded the receiver core. The next side-eye view of things, if they go wrong, is on you, number one. And so, yeah, Justin Fields needs to be on notice. Now, is he going to be great? man. I know he's a great dual threat quarterback. I know that he's really good scrambling and running the football. I don't love his accuracy. And I think that's kind of important. He needs to address his accuracy this year.
My people's No Fun League Sports Channel says, hey, Dan, Justin Fields' career, 0 300-yard passing games. I get that, but let me ask you a question, and this goes to the coach in me. Is it fair what we do to quarterbacks? Like, I know it's the way of the world. I get it, but you just mentioned, okay, they just upgraded the line. This is the first year for that. They just upgraded wide receiver, DJ. Is it fair that we say, all right, you got to perform in the first year of a team that's actually maybe a decent put-together team, or else we got to look somewhere else? I know fair isn't the right word. I get it. But is that smart? Let me use that. Is it smart to think about moving on for this guy after 1 year of a legitimate put-together team?
That's one way to look at it. The way I think the rest of the earth looks at it, Dan, is this is his third year. Okay? I know you're giving him it's 1 year that we put a team around you, and you want to give him a performance trophy, but the NFL is professional football, and you play, and you succeed or you fail, and if you fail, you get replaced. It's as simple as that. Moreover, the clock on Justin Fields and the Bears is ticking, in that teams typically want to produce and succeed while the quarterback is still on his rookie contract, because it allows them to do things to the rest of the roster. It gives them wiggle room. Once Justin Fields hits the fifth-year option, now he's getting paid, and it becomes very difficult more difficult to build a roster around him and surround him with better players. And then the other thing is, again, you don't succeed, you're not going to replace a guy. Is that the rule throughout the roster, or are you just going to make a special rule for the quarterback?
I know I'm wrong. I mean, I get it you know what? It's almost better. It's almost better, unless you're great, right? It's almost better to be like Jordan Love, where, you make your money, you hang, and now you got to, I don't know, maybe you got to put together a team. But then when I say that, the dude out in San Francisco, it looks like his career's over before it ever started. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I just know I think Justin Fields is going to be good. I think.
Okay. I know that you have a nice shirt on. It's very nice. I like your shirt. You're rocking a solid shirt game this morning. And you are right about Trey Lance. Trey Lance would be probably better off somewhere else, because he's already lost the job to Mr. Irrelevant, who, as a rookie, was better than Trey Lance was his first 2 years, and is the starter in San Francisco. So the only way that Trey Lance gets an opportunity is if Trey Lance stays with San Francisco as the number 3 quarterback, and Brock Purdy gets injured and Sam Darnold gets injured. And now you've got Trey Lance. And I say that expecting Trey Lance to lose the backup job to Sam Darnold. So that hasn't happened yet. We'll see if it does, but I'm not too encouraged about that. Trey Lance needs to play somewhere. Trey Lance, I'm going to say something very politically incorrect, okay, as far as the NFL is concerned. Years ago, when you had third-string quarterbacks, they often went in the preseason, not in the preseason, but in the offseason, they went to NFL Europe, or they did things in other leagues to try to gain experience, to improve their game so that when they came back to the NFL, they were better. Nowadays, players look at that as kind of like they look down their nose at that idea and they don't even consider it. I think that Trey Lance would be well served by maybe playing in the USFL next year or the XFL or the something FL, to where he actually gets some repetitions and some snaps, because he's not getting enough and he hasn't gotten enough with the 49ers, and he needs to play somewhere.
The 49ers win with everybody. You mentioned it. Brock Purdy, they win. Jimmy G, they win. It doesn't matter. They win. If Trey Lance, this is how I would look at it were I a general manager somewhere else. If Trey Lance can't win with those guys, that team that wins with literally, you said it, Mr. Irrelevant, what the hell, where's he going to go that anybody's going to legitimately give him a shot?
Well, so Trey Lance coming out of the draft, there's a reason that the 49ers gave up, draft picks and cars and babies and stuff like that for the right to move up to the number 3 overall pick to pick Trey Lance, right? So they saw something that a lot of other scouts saw, and that is potential and raw ability. Obviously, he's still raw. Somebody needs to cook this guy. Somebody needs to put him on the field and kind of, put him over a couple of times so that he's a little, maybe not overcooked, but undercooked, to where you can actually eat the steak, eat the meat. And he is clearly not there. He is clearly still a raw talent. And it's a problem. Trey Lance needs steps. Trey Lance I feel bad for Trey Lance, but, the situation is the NFL doesn't wait on people is the bottom line.
That is the bottom line. All right, last thing. I've kept you too long, but I got to ask you. Here in Indy, we had a decent crowd, not a packed house, but a lot of people. They all came to watch Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson did not play. People are like, oh, you got to play a guy for the fans, blah, 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 blah. My thought is, look, the coaches aren't trying to screw Anthony Richardson or the team. They're trying to do what's best for Anthony Richardson as a team. Do NFL teams have an obligation to say, hey, look, we got to run this guy out there because we got a packed house in the preseason?
NFL teams don't have an obligation to anything. Just as fans don't have an obligation to buy a ticket if they don't want to. I would say to you that those fans that are going, you need to play Anthony Richardson, would be the same people who, if Anthony Richardson comes out there and sprains a knee and can't play for 4 weeks, would say, why are you playing Anthony Richardson?
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword. Look, I don't get too caught up in playing time in the preseason, except when it's a proven player who the coach, for whatever reason, is overextending him in the preseason. Then I start to go, wait a second now, why are you doing this? But unproven players, are you playing them? Okay. Are you not playing them? Okay. I just know that the answer will come. We all know that Anthony Richardson getting 20 snaps for the Indianapolis Colts. I almost said Baltimore Colts. For the Indianapolis Colts this past weekend wasn't going to change the fact that he needs to mature and that he needs to get a lot more repetitions. The guy needs like 800 repetitions this year before anybody's going to go, okay, now what do you got, Anthony Richardson? This year for Anthony Richardson is all growth. And really what happens on the scoreboard, it doesn't really matter.
I agree. Thank you. Hey, thanks, Armando. That was great stuff. Now, that's what I'm talking. It don't matter. He needs way more than that. Thanks, Armando.
All right, Dan. Nice shirt, dude.
Thank you very much. Nice shirt to you, too. Nice background. The now defunct Orange Bowl. The now torn down Orange Bowl. That's our friend, Armando. And I am wearing a very nice suit. And as I look, I'm all tanned up. I'm like Telly Savalas. Seriously, who loves you, baby? I'm going to get a popsicle in here or a sucker. Look, this is like the big rage here in Indy. Like, oh, they should have played him. We had people in the stadium. No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't do anything they don't need to do. And 2 series of Anthony Richardson isn't going to make any difference to anybody. But Armando is right. You put Anthony Richardson out there with the wrong offensive line and he gets hurt, now you got a serious problem. That's something that writers and media guys will never understand. They know who's playing against who. They know what matchup. And frankly, I don't want him out there. I don't want him out there with these guys. It doesn't help his growth. I guarantee you, Colts fans, that Shane Steichen is doing everything he possibly can, as well as Ballard, even though I lost respect for him. That's fine. They're doing everything they can to put Anthony Richardson in the best spot, and so is your NFL team. There is not a coach alive that says, oh, we want to screw this guy. There's not one single coach alive that does that. My God, man. But I don't think it's a do and die season for Justin Fields. I don't. Like, I get where people do, and I get you can say, well, Dan, we're not giving out participation trophies. I get all that. I swear to you, I do. But I got to tell you, I see Justin Fields, and I say to myself, all right, isn't there something about growth? Now, if Caleb Williams is, in fact, the next Elway, the next, whoever, I don't know, whatever. Everybody compares the great athletic quarterback to Elway, all right? So if Caleb Williams is the next great one, all right, the kid at USC, and the Bears can get him with one of their myriad of draft choices, then fine, if that's the deal. But all this crap, I'm rooting for Justin Fields, and I don't know why. I've never met him. I don't know him. I've really never even seen him interviewed. But I did watch him play a couple times, and I'm like, you know what? That's fun. That's fun right there. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fun. That's good. I like that. That's fun. And I think he's going to be the breakout player. Hey, let's stay with Chicago, shall we? We found this morning. Chicago is in such bad shape, not the football team, which isn't in great shape, but the city itself, that, oh, man, can you show the sign that we found this morning? This isn't a real sign, but this is a real request by a city council. A Chicago community group has proposed an ordinance urging people to not engage in shootouts between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Look, a community group is saying, we got nothing for you. We can't stop you. You run this city. But can we please, let us sleep in a little bit. Do your shooting. We'll get up at 9. We'll get done at 9. We'll be in bed. It'll be dark in Chicago. Chicago's on Central Time. So if it gets dark at 8 here, it's dark there at 7. Summertime, or wintertime, it's dark at like 4:30. All right? Let us get in our homes. Let us put our Kevlar jammies on. And you know what? Now you can go a shooting. Now you can commence to a shooting. It's unbelievable. How about the city group says, hey, bring in the freaking National Guard and destroy these freaking gangs. Throw these clowns in jail, bust up these neighborhoods, keep the good people, get rid of the bad people, and let's go. Well, how do you know? That's racist. I don't know if it's racist or not, but I know that the police know who the bad guys are. So round them up, get in a shootout, whatever you got to do, and take back your city. Taking back your city is not saying, hey, wait a second. Hold on. Can you please not shoot anybody between 9 a.m.? Hey, wait, guys. We got to go kill this dude. It's 8:45. We got 15 minutes to off this dude. Man, Chicago's out of its collective mind. It is. It's completely out of its mind. And I don't know what to tell you. 10:30 coming up. Shawne Merriman's going to join us. I forgot about this, the kicker. There's a kicker alert. Cade York. He missed 2 game-winning field goals. He did. And, ladies and gentlemen, during the game, this guy, Gabe York, put 2, I guess, Instagram posts on at halftime of the game. Now, I just want to tell you, how about, when your kicker is on Instagram at halftime posting that he made a kick in the first half, ladies and gentlemen, of an exhibition game. Yeah. Of an exhibition game. So this guy decided that at halftime of an exhibition game, I am going to, well, you know what? I'm going to tweet about it. I mean, seriously? I'm going to Instagram about it. Seriously? Okay. Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm a curmudgeon. You're at a game, your obligation and your job is to kick field goals. See, this is a problem I have in my home state. This is a problem that I have with Indiana basketball. Carly Lloyd really was critical of the U.S. women's national team. And people came at her and said, hey, look, I was there 17 years, she said. I'll say whatever I want. Same thing with Indiana basketball. Indiana basketball is the Cade York of sports. They got guys more worried about headbands. They got guys more worried about their brand. And it came to a head this weekend because now Indiana basketball is in like some kind of fight. How to pay these clowns. How to pay these guys that can't beat anybody. So Cade York is the Indiana basketball of the NFL. More worried about style, more worried about substance. The Browns were always considered tough, not winning, but tough. Indiana basketball, put Michael Jordan in front of us, we'll beat him. Put Shaq in front of us, we'll beat him. Now Indiana basketball is a charade, and we're arguing over who to pay. Now the Browns have a kicker who is Instagramming. I'm Instagramming at halftime because I must Instagram. Jesus. It'll give you a headache. Just kick. Do yourself a favor. Make every big field goal and then talk all the smack you want. Serious. I mean, talk so much your brain bleeds. Talk so much your head bleeds. Talk until we're tired of you talking. But win something for the love of all things holy. You're making me crazy. NFL is back. I'm all in on Justin Fields. I say the Colts are going to beat the Jaguars. I'm taking that game straight up. Don't know why I'm taking it. I take them every year. I got a guy saying, hey, Dad, when are you going to predict the Colts get 10 wins? I may predict them to get 15 wins. I always go overboard. It's what I do. I'm not going to sit there and root against a team that I like in my city. I'm not going to sit here and root against. Are you crazy? So I always pick the Colts to win like 13 games. I don't bet it. 6.5 is the number. Don't at me, people. Cade York. Hi, I'm Cade York. I'm the kicker. Yeah? Yeah. I'm going to go Instagram at halftime. Oh, yeah? And then I'm going to miss 2 game winners. It's karma. It's simply karma. There was a kid in Indiana, a little freshman kid, called me a clown. Literally. He got injured. I don't know. I don't know nothing. I don't know. We'll be right back. I got a lot to get to. Now I'm fired up. It's NFL season.
The two biggest social media giants, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, are set to battle it out, and I'm here on Broadway asking people who they put their money on.
I think Mark Zuckerberg will win.
Why do you think that?
Because I think he already trains MMA, so he's got like the prior experience and stuff. I mean, they're both billionaires, so they have the opportunity to get the best training. But I think Mark Zuckerberg will pull away with the win.
Elon Musk.
Why do you think so?
Because he's bigger.
Bigger, okay, but Mark Zuckerberg's been training jiu-jitsu for 9 months. Do you think that matters?
No.
Zuckerberg, he's part alien or robot, so he may have some secret powers that we don't know about.
I was gonna say, is that an advantage? Does he have an advantage over Elon Musk then?
Yeah, I mean, if he, sheds his skin and becomes an alien and eats everyone, yeah, I think so.
Elon Musk is mental, so Elon Musk.
All it is just he's mental, he's mentally crazy, so...
He just wouldn't care, would he?
Okay.
He'd just absolutely go for it. I think Zuckerberg would be a bit more refrained.
Okay.
If that should ever happen, which I doubt, but you never know, it'd be entertaining.
Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg?
Elon Musk.
Why?
Because
Elon
my
Musk.
dad is in love with Elon Musk.
Okay.
I think I'm going to have to go with Zuckerberg. I mean, Threads just came out, so...
Who do you think would win?
Zuck.
Why do you think so?
He's not a real human. He's a robot.
So he'll use that to his advantage.
Yeah, and all the Krav Maga stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you think would win in a fight, Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk?
Elon Musk.
Why do you think Elon Musk?
I think Elon's
He
smarter.
works with robots, so maybe he built a robot to fight for him.
But what if Mark Zuckerberg is a robot?
Oh wow. Then I might have to change my answer.
Who do you think's gonna win?
Me.
Hey, welcome back. Hour number 2, the second hour of what is going to be an unbelievable week. Football is starting, college football. I see it out there on the horizon. The weather is heating up in Indiana, which means I'm wearing a thong, baby. That's right. I'm getting it out. You know, you know how the NFL is back. You all know this. What do you mean it's back? I'll tell you why it's back. It is back because of this. Let's watch the video. Let's watch fans getting into it, getting excited. That's what they're doing here. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? Man, oh man. A lot of white dudes, a lot of people fighting in this, a lot of jerseys. George Kittle just throwing down, you see on the right side, and another 80, a lot of 85 jerseys. The one thing I learned in this video was a lot of people like George Kittle jerseys. I mean, let's be honest, that and you know what? The people that you see in security, they don't really help. You know what I'm saying? They don't really help. You saw a lot of people going, a lot of security guards getting the hell out of the way. A lot of people, I don't know if I like that. I don't think I like that at all. I don't like that even a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, I digress into a few other things. Our president of the United States, Joe Biden, said that America First is no good. He did. He said America First is no good. I don't know. I guess it's America Last. Let's say that. Hey, let's hear from Joe Biden.
His America First policy, walking away from the rest of the world, has made us weaker, not stronger.
Yeah, if he says it, do you believe it? I mean, let's be honest. If he says anything, do you believe it? See, I do not. Like, he could tell. I mean, to that point, let me share with you a story of Joe Biden. Joe Biden had a bunch of families. Afghanistan mothers and dads, people that lost their lives, right? Joe Biden, a Gold Star mother, says that President Biden asked her for a photo op as she wept in the White House Oval Office after the heartbreaking loss of her son that was killed in the Kabul bombing 2 years ago. So this guy, Joe Biden, decides that I know you're crying, lady. I get it that you're crying. But, hey, you got time for a photo op while you're crying? That's the evilness of this man. Now, you can tell me that the lady's lying if you are a Joltin' Joe, Sniffin' Joe, Pervy Joe Biden fan. You can tell me that she's not telling the truth. But if you were going to, who do you trust? This mother who is crying or Joe Biden? If you were going to say to me, who would you trust on any of them? I would say I don't trust Joe Biden even a little bit. Paula Nass Self is a Gold Star mother of Ryan, Christian Krauss, Knauss, who was killed in Afghanistan in the 2022 withdrawal. It's a moral disgrace for a president not to have mercy on the people that he serves. There's nothing like watching your child, die in front of you and in front of the world. She holds Biden responsible, which, it may or may not. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of grief, she says. And then she recounted a meeting with Biden on Memorial Day 2022, an event for Gold Star families. Biden wanted a photo op. During the meeting in the Oval Office, Biden told, I can understand if you're angry. I stood face to face with him, eyeball to eyeball. Say, I began to weep. Should never have happened this way. He stood there stoically. Nothing out of his mouth except, well, would you like a photo with me? Yeah, I want a photo with you, you crazy man, you. It's unbelievable what we vote, or you supposedly voted for. We'll see. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. We'll get our thing taken down, whatever. Hey, Joel Embiid could ask to leave the Sixers sooner than later. It'd be a double blow. Is Joel Embiid leaving? Joel Embiid has taken down all of his social media relative. Is that a bad thing? Yes, it's a bad thing. Yes, it is. Don't even at me. You need players. You do. You need players. I'm sorry, you need players. If you're going to have a team and you're going to be the Sixers, you need players. All right? Please. You got to have players. And if Joel Embiid leaves, that is a crushing blow. I would argue if Joel Embiid leaves, then I would say that you got to fire Daryl Morey. I would go on the side of the players on this one. I'm sorry, but I would. I mean, look, you just can't have a guy there that everybody wants to leave. You can't have a guy that's your general manager that the MVP of the league doesn't want to play for. You can't do it. No. It's impossible. You mustn't do it. You can't do it. It cannot happen. Period. All right? Let's just be honest about that. And if that is going to happen, then you got to fire. You got to fire. All right, back to the NFL. This is a bit disturbing. All right? Now, we're not going to know the real deal because it seems like the New Orleans Saints are covering up for Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham is a wide receiver or a tight end who's pretty good. People like Jimmy Graham. People think Jimmy Graham could have, would have, should have been one of the all-time greats. He was a basketball player and a legit one. There's like 3 legit basketball players. Antonio Gates, legit basketball player. Gonzalez, legit basketball player. Tony Gonzalez, and this guy. Everybody else is crap. All right, they'll say they played. Mo Alley Cox was a legit basketball player. Guy with the call. He was pretty good. All right, tight end Jimmy Graham was arrested. Now listen to this. He had a medical episode. He had a seizure. This is sad. He experienced a medical episode which resulted in him becoming disoriented. He was taken into custody by local authorities. The doctors believe it to be likely a seizure. He spent the night under medical supervision. He was released after police received a call about a suspicious person exhibiting erratic behavior. Officers discovered Graham wandering the streets. Police attempted to arrest Graham, but he resisted. He was suspected of being under the influence of a controlled substance. He resisted and delayed and obstructed a police officer, and he got arrested, and now they're saying this. Here's the problem we have. Let me give you the problem, and I go back to my childhood. In my neighborhood, there was a guy. He walked around in the summer with no shirt on, big fat dude, a guitar, no shoes, jeans halfway down his ass. His last name was Deering. Jeffrey Beering. All right? He walked around the neighborhood. He was part of a little creepy group that had a guy named Kellerman, and they lived on behind my house. Our neighborhood, there was a block, circle. There was a house right behind ours, row of houses right behind, And they were down about 4 or 5 houses. They had this little street gang. All right, they were older than me. I remember the good guys in the neighborhood and us got on roofs and fired acorns at them. Anyway, I digress. All right, here's the deal. So this guy Beering is walking around our neighborhood. He's playing a guitar. I've told this story many times. Nobody says anything to him. Nobody does anything about it, including myself. I feel bad about this. Long story short, years later, when I was off in college, he stabbed a little girl behind my house 33 times with a screwdriver. Parents grabbed her, threw her in a cold tub. Beering actually got off. Why? Because they said he was the first guy in the country to be guilty by criminal insanity, and I think he was, I forget how it went. Anyway, long story short, nobody said anything. We got a guy right over here. Every day he's on this running trail that people have, and he's always acting weird, strange, holding phones up to people, standing around the school. Nobody can say anything. He's an African-American dude. Everybody's like, well, you say anything, you're racist. It's interesting that the cops decided to arrest this guy, Graham. It's a dangerous move, arresting somebody these days. It is. I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know, but I got to tell you, Jimmy Graham, your team is defending you, which is good. We go stock up, stock down, shall we? Let's go stock up, stock down. Stock up. Hey, look, he's going to be a great pitcher, I guess, unless he gets hurt and does, I don't know, the Pryor kid or all these other guys that are great pitchers or supposedly great pitchers. But Paul Skeens is stock up for one big reason. You ready? He's dating Livy Dunn. The big stud baseball player with the bad stash is dating the hot little girl gymnast that takes her clothes off and gets clicks. That's right. He's about 6'5". She's about 5 foot nothing. But she takes her clothes off. She's all the rage. And this dude, the big leaguer, is dating her. That's right. And look, when you look like that, you shouldn't be dating the hottest girl in college. But when you're the number one pick in the draft, you date anybody you want, baby. That's right. And he chose the influencer. Now, is that going to end well? Of course it's not going to end well. Has no chance of ending well. Zero, zip, nada, none. None. She's going to dump him, he's going to dump her, but it's a nice little story. And maybe it's not even true. With the little influencers that take their clothes off for money, who knows what's true? Seriously, I don't know. But it's a nice story. It really is. It's a nice little story, and I'm glad it's happening because, well, frankly, what the hell? Stock up, Los Angeles Dodgers. Los Angeles Dodgers are 9-1 in their last 10. Won 7 in a row, lost 1, went and won 2 more in a row. Los Angeles Dodgers are balling. Los Angeles Dodgers are not, I'm not going to say the team to beat because you still got the Atlanta Braves, and the Atlanta Braves have the best record in the National League. But the Los Angeles Dodgers are balling. Los Angeles Dodgers are hitting it hard. Los Angeles Dodgers are pitching. There was a thing the other day, we can't show the video, but Clayton Kershaw goes like this to start his windup. Everybody in the crowd was going like this to start their windup. I like fun stuff. I do. I like fun stuff. So ladies and gentlemen, I do. I like the Dodgers. Now, as we move into baseball, I'm interested to see how they go about their business. It feels like to me every year I watch Justin Turner, Trey Turner. He's not there. Neither of them are there. So I don't know. But those guys always, and I mean always showed. Seriously, in the postseason. I mean, when I would turn it on, the dude with the red hair that looked like one of the White Walkers, Justin Turner, was balling. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I ain't mad at it. Hey, you know who all the rage is? Tyson Bagent. If Tyson Bagent was playing football in Indianapolis, you would have 1,000 articles written on Tyson Bagent. I'm just telling you. He played college football at Shepherd. Somebody name me where Shepherd is. Seriously. He was a 2-time Division II All-American. He was. He was awesome. He was at the Combine. He did not get drafted. All right? But guess what? He balled out the other day. He did. Now, you got to understand something. I don't know if he's going to make it. P.J. Walker, who used to be with the Colts, who was like an XFL star, got signed for $4.5 million over 2 years. But Walker hadn't been very good. Bagent, he went on a 17-play, 92-yard drive that went for a touchdown by him. I watched that. He was really good. And Eberflus, Matt Eberflus, the scaredest of all coaches, everything. That's right. Including the backup quarterback job. I don't know. You know who else is there? Mr. Peterman. That's right. Nathan Peterman's there for the Bears. I don't know. I like Tyson Bagent. I like his arm. That's a cool-looking tattoo. I don't know. Give the D2 guy a shot. But man, oh man, if he were here in Indy, we thought Chad Kelly was all the rage. I didn't. People did. People wanted everybody benched for Chad Kelly. Chad Kelly's balling out, I guess, in the Canadian League. So give Tyson Bagent a chance. I mean, if you want to win. Stock down. I disagree with our producers here, Tommy Pham. I ain't going to stock down with Tommy Pham. I'm going stock up with Tommy Pham, and I'll tell you why. First off, let me preface. Let's do this, because I'm both on Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham is the first person I've ever been stock up and stock down. He's stocked down because he shouldn't interact with idiots. All right, let's show the Tommy Pham video, can we? Can you get to the Tommy Pham video? Stock up and stock down. The Tommy Pham video. Can you show it right now?
Strike out. You called me a piece of
I did not.
No, he didn't.
Harden straight up. He ain't gonna be disrespectful like that.
I got witnesses.
You disrespectful.
Piece of
Go strike out. Go strike out. Go strike
It's
out.
always funny. We always got a white man. A white man feel like he can disrespect
Now it's
you
race.
some kind of way.
Now it's
Not because you know
race.
what? A black man or a Latin don't do that.
Race. That's exactly what you wrote into.
Now, the black man stuff is stupid. All right? And stop with the black man stuff. Fans are fans. But now, let's show the text from the D-bag that was involved, or the tweet from the D-bag that was involved in this. Oh, it's stock down Tommy Pham for getting involved in this. And take that black man stuff. That's crap. But this is the D-bag that was involved. Nothing else matters. Here we go. He's never been disrespectful to a player. He might take some light-hearted jabs, but nothing he ever said elicited a response like this. Now, see, this is where Patrick Daly is an American batch. Just a batch. And if you look at his picture, go to @PatrickDaly, and you'll see he's just a fat posse. That's it. He's just a fat little batch. So as soon as he puts that in there, I go stock up Tommy Pham. It's very confusing. But once he said that, all right, he teases the white players as much as the minorities in the league. It's disappointing to see Pham go straight to the race card. Well, it's disappointing that you're such a posse, Patrick Daly. I know, I've always known, this is what little bitches do. We tease. Really? Oh, but you don't like when somebody comes back at you. You become a victim when someone comes back at you. Oh, he teases, he jabs, but you don't like when somebody calls you on it. Of course you don't like that. That's the world we live in. Everybody's a victim. Everybody goes to victim as soon as they possibly can. So I got to tell you, I don't want to hear it. I don't even want to be. I don't want to hear it even a little bit. Not even sort of. That's it. Now, Patrick Daly, you're just a little batch, and Tommy Pham, don't engage with little batches. Preseason injuries stock down. Look, preseason injuries are a part of football, and I've said this forever. I have said this man, there is nothing worse. I lost my coaching career to injury. I did. I didn't lose it because I couldn't coach. I lost it to injury. My best player, my two best players, 7 of my 10 year, done. My 3 best players, 5 of my 10 years, out. And somehow, some way, we still ended up over 500. Yeah, I don't understand it. Isaiah Bolden, out. After Isaiah Bolden of the Patriots, after, he was carted off, he had the neck thing, the board, the whole deal. Right there, you see it. They canceled the rest of their games, and they should. Man, I don't like it. Preseason injuries, man, they'll kill you. Offensive lineman Tommy Doyle. Ton of players. I can go through it. Tommy Doyle, knee injury. Man, Isaiah Bolden, I mentioned. It's terrible. I don't like it. But you got to deal with it. This is why I got no problem, none, zero, zip, zilch, with the Colts not playing anybody. Nobody. I don't care about preseason football even a little bit. I don't care about the reps. Guys don't even know what the reps are. We already know about Nyheim Hines. He's out. Wide receiver Terrence Marshall, the Panthers. He's out. Joe Burrow has been out. Myles Garrett got out of a practice against the frickin' Eagles. He was out. Micah Parsons had a leg injury. He was out. Adrian Hutchinson, he was out. I mean, must I go on? The guy Snead for the Chiefs, he's got a knee. He's been out. Kadarius Toney, he's been out. Now I don't like it. Devontae Adams, he was out. I mean, I can go on and on. We know about Jalen Ramsey. He is out. Yeah, preseason injuries suck. Preseason injuries absolutely suck, and you got to hope your team can get through them or through the preseason. Colts don't play anybody. I don't care. Well, man, they need reps. Really? I saw Courtney Cronin. He needs reps. Or Heather Lloyd. He needs reps. These idiots don't know reps. Jeez. Oh, man, crime in Chicago. Stock down crime in Chicago. These are my people. These are my people. And Chicago can't get out of its own way. Chicago can't get out of its own way to the point where, well, guess what? Another 9 people murdered, over 40 shot this weekend. Some dude's on River North on Ontario, where the old Ditka's was. Dude pulled up next to him and unloaded. Unloaded. Bullet. Brrr. How about that? Near North, middle of the night, 11 o'clock. Brrr. Just bullet holes in an SUV. 40 shot, 6 killed, weekend shootings, and it's never going to stop until somebody gets in there and says, we're going to make this stop. Because there are really good people in these neighborhoods where everybody's shooting everybody up, and you got to protect those people. You got to get rid of bad guys, protect, and I don't know how to do it. I don't know. But I know how not to do it. How not to do it is say, hey, no crime between 9 a.m. and 9:30. None. Zero. Zip. All right, back to my story of the day. You ready? If you are going to play basketball at Indiana, if you are going to play football for the Kansas City Chiefs, then you got to live up to a standard. If you are going to play football, even a little bit, I mean, if you're going to play football for the Browns, you cannot be tweeting at all, ever, never, ever, Instagramming at halftime of a game. You worry about winning. You worry about your performance. And then you go TikToking. Then you go whatever. If you win, if you do something, if you don't have a game for a month, if you haven't done nothing and you win a game, then shut the hell up, Cade York. Shut the hell up, Indiana basketball. You're making me crazy here, and it's not even basketball season. We got this big argument here in Indiana about where to actually pay Indiana basketball players that quit like dogs in the middle of an NCAA tournament game against Miami. That's the big issue here. And I'm sure it's a big issue elsewhere. And then I see this guy. This guy here is Instagramming at halftime. At some point, you got to be about winning. And you got to reward winning. And not worry about your brand. Make you nuts. Indiana basketball used to beat Michael Jordan, used to beat Shaq. Now Indiana basketball can't beat off. Oops, sorry, shouldn't have said that. My bad. You're making me crazy. And now, where do we pay these guys? I want to know. Is it the collective with the Hoosier Hysterics? By the way, we're doing a Two Big Brains coming up at 11. It'll be 11:05 by the time Kent and I get set up, and it's going to be raucous. Drive you nuts. Drive you absolutely nuts. Hey, how about this? Police had to get involved. Police had to come to a restaurant. Police had a mob scene at a restaurant. A mob scene. Crazy mob scene. Do you know why? In New Jersey, which even makes it sound more dangerous. People are nuts. They're crazy. What are we going to do? It was a mob scene. All hell broke loose. People were fighting. People were rushing. You know why? Do you know why? Because Taylor Swift was eating. People were at the Black Whale to get a glimpse of Taylor Swift at Jack Antonoff's wedding at the Jersey Shore. They were chanting. It was crazy. Can I ask a serious question? I want to go to the YouTube chat here. When did Taylor Swift blow up? I know she's always been big. Don't get me wrong. I know she's always been massive. But I'm going to ask this question for as long as I am doing a show and as long as this continues. When did, in the last 6, 8, 10 months, did Taylor Swift blow up like this? I got to tell you, I am here for it. I am 1,010% here for it. But can somebody explain to me what transpired that Taylor Swift blew up like this? Anybody, anywhere, anytime? Because she has. Is it because of all of the people that had to pay so much money for her? I'm asking. Dan, Ryan Mueller says no one should care if she's eating. No one should care. Dan, I'm right there with you. It's crazy. I know. Somebody explain this to me. Like, I get it. I mean, some may think she's hot. Some may think she's not. Songs are fine. She always gets mad at boyfriends. We get all this. But what are we doing? Where did this come from? Right. Jody Shelton. Hey, Dan, her music is good, but I don't get this fever for her tickets. Dan, this is from Sean Black. I have no clue, Dan. Songs are overplayed. They're making my ass sad. I know. Please, I'll listen to anybody, anytime, anywhere, if you can explain to me when and where and why Taylor Swift became such a thing. I swear to you, it's when all the publicity happened when her tickets cost too much. Remember we had Ted Cruz on, and one of the things that he and I discussed was it was because of Taylor Swift, but all the different fees in the tickets. And he wanted to make those. He wanted us to be able to have some transparency, to know what that money is all about. And I swear to God, once that happened, this woman has blown up like nobody I've ever seen. And I'm okay with it. Yeah. Jen Gritty says, is it cool to say you got Taylor Swift tickets? The answer is yes. Is it cool to say you're a Swiftie? The answer is yes. And I got to tell you, it's kind of neat. I'm kind of for it. Andy Hughes speaks for a generation of men. Dan, I'll tell you one thing. There are hot moms at her concert. Yeah? Yeah. Dave Carroll says, hey, look, Taylor Swift blew up when she got out of her very crappy record deal. She didn't even have control of her own music. Yeah. Yeah. All right. There you go. Shawne Merriman is going to join us. Let's talk some NFL. Let's talk about injuries. You know, injuries are a massive deal. I love talking to Shawne Merriman. We'll talk to Shawne Merriman when we come back.
Okay, so normally I take what I read in the Washington Post or New York Times with a grain of salt, given both publications went from newspapers of record to more useful for toilet paper. But when I saw and read this particular article, yeah, it bothered me. According to this reporting, Trump's PAC, Save America, has doled out more than $40 million on legal costs in the first half of 2023 alone. This money has not only gone to fund Trump's legal defense, but also his advisors and others swept up in his legal snafus. That $40 million plus is not only more than the campaign raised in the second quarter of the year, but the legal fees are also the single largest expense incurred. And apparently a lot of this fundraising money has come from small dollar donors, so a lot of average, everyday Trump-supporting patriots who wanted to chip in with the hopes of re-electing the former president. So listen, if Trump-supporting patriots are well aware their hard-earned money is going to help pay down the legal fees for a billionaire business mogul, that's fine and dandy, and y'all can obviously send and spend your money the way you see fit. I know many Trump supporters want to help him win these largely political, unfair, and BS legal battles. I just wonder if now that some of you know what your money is going to pay for, given a lot of you are probably not billionaire business moguls flying on private jets, that might make you a little salty, because I sure would be. Now, before y'all go for my mega jugular, listen, I agree that the former president is being unfairly put through the ringer and that the system has been rigged against him in a lot of ways. I get it, and I agree. Just know what you're paying for. That's all I'm saying here. But on to the second part of these final thoughts. I see some on Twitter, and really only on Twitter, have their panties in a twist because Florida governor and Trump challenger Ron DeSantis was seen drinking a beer with the good folks of Iowa. Oh, the horror, I know. Good Lord.
All right, I'm going to ask Shawne Merriman, NFL great legend. I don't understand how Taylor Swift has blown up like this. Like, oh, she was always great, but all of a sudden it seems like in the last 6 months, this stuff is out of hand. Do you have any thoughts on it whatsoever? If not, we can just move on. I got no problem.
I'm not going to call myself a Swiftie, but I enjoy your music. I think that the craze of people just not being able to get a ticket or go to her shows, or I think that's it. She becomes such a hot ticket, you can't get to her. And I think that when you can't get to people, you can't see them, or you can't get a ticket, it makes you want to go a little bit more. But she's always been great, man. I've been to two or three of her shows before. I mean, she's a great performer. Her catalog is just beyond ridiculous. She has more songs than anybody out there. But I think she's just a great artist.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. You can't get a ticket. It's like, it's like dating a woman. If you back off a little bit, you got a better shot. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Maybe that's a bad analogy. I like the analogy, though. I don't know.
I know where you were going with that. Yeah.
I think. All right, a lot of injuries in the preseason. I basically lost my coaching career because of injuries. Ton of guys getting injured. How do you – I know you can't protect against injury, but, man, you got to balance who plays and who doesn't play, don't you?
Yeah, when somebody asks me that question, it's so hard to go out there and play the game of football and think about not getting hurt, right? Like, you don't want to go out there with that mentality, hey, I just want to get through the preseason clean with no injuries. You're going out there to play, because I do believe the second you are timid or you start going slower to the football and you start thinking about that, I think you put yourself in more risk of injury. Preseason is nothing but a dress rehearsal for the younger guys. That's what it really is, right? Change of possession on offense and defense. Guys getting on and off the field for special teams. Turnover on downs. I mean, those things is what preseason is about. You're already in shape. Guys are already in shape. From working out, doing the all-season programs with the teams, OTAs, mini camps, guys are in shape. So you got to get yourself a little bit more football shape, but no one trying to really get ready mentally for the preseason. Everybody, for the most part, especially if you're a veteran, you're trying to get to the season.
That makes total sense. I mean, I swear to God, as a coach, that's all I would do. I would just, hey, look, if my fifth string lineman gets hurt, I feel bad for him. But you know what? I got Shawne Merriman playing, so I'm good. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and when I played for the Chargers, Marty Schottenheimer had this thing where he didn't want a lot of guys. The starters didn't play in the preseason. I remember that one play, LaDainian Tomlinson got in. One play, took it to the house for 50, 60 yards, and never touched the field again. The preseason, it was one play, big hit, and he was done. And so. I'm not a fan of preseason games in the first place. I never thought that it should be four games. I like the addition of the joint practices because at least you get the game speed and tempo, and then seeing another color helmet, another person in training camp because you're going against your teammates every day. But for the most part, man, I've never been a fan of preseason games in general.
I agree. I mean, I can see, like even as a fan, you're like, we don't need 4 of these. We don't need 3 of these. Hey, are there some coaches or some organizations that maybe are looked on more favorably to go play out? Like I've looked at the reason I'm asking this, I've looked at the Colts. I know the backstory on Andrew Luck. His dad was always pissed. He didn't want to be here. Phillip Rivers didn't come back for $25 million. Stephon Gilmore wanted out of here like it was the plague. Who are some organizations that people really want to play for?
I think the organizations that the guys want to really go to, and especially free agents or whatnot, are typically the ones with the owners are pretty close to the players, right? Has a relationship with them. I remember at a post SB event, I was hanging with Coach with Robert Kraft. And we were talking or whatever, and then first thing he said, Shawne, I loved you as a player, hated playing against you. But he was telling me how close he was to the team. In fact, he said, he was telling me when his wife had passed away that a lot of the players were coming to stay at his home. And he said it got him through the tough shit. So you want to play for owners, man, that really and organizations that that's going to put, and we all know it's a business. I'm not saying it's not. But when you have an owner that's pretty close with the team and got a relationship with the team, it always helps a younger guy. It helps a free agent. It helps players want to go there because it becomes a destination.
Yeah, all right, well, how is Jimmy Irsay perceived?
As somebody who's going to come at you, right? Irsay, I believe, he is a kind of a player's owner type of deal. Like he does have a relationship, but also, sometimes he goes at a player directly because I think he does have that mentality, that mindset when it comes to the team and owners. And players. We've seen him, come out and just directly go at guys about injuries or he's not hurt or he is hurt and really send a message. And Irsay will do it publicly. And, sometimes that rubs people the wrong way. I think that, when he brought in Jeff Saturday, it was a kind of a player's owner type of mentality when he did that. And so you have this, kind of back and forth relationship with some of these owners. But the best owners, man, I believe typically are the ones that have relationships with the teams because guys feel they can trust them. They can talk to them. They actually care a little bit outside of the business aspect of it. But yeah, I have seen Irsay do that several times.
How did it sit with you when they brought in Jeff Saturday? Or how would it have sat with you as a player?
They took a shot, man. Look, I always said this. There should be more players, right, as head coaches, defense and offensive coordinators, scouts, GMs. You've been through the fire. You've been there. And so that's why when I see some of the former players get hired as a head coach, hired as a GM, I credit San Francisco 49ers for bringing in Frank Gore and bringing him into the front office. Who can better evaluate talent than a guy who's been through the fire, especially somebody like Frank Gore? Jeff Saturday, who's been on championship teams. He knows how to win. And so at least, even if it doesn't work out, give the guys a shot, because if it's not guaranteed to work out with somebody who didn't play. So at least give a guy who actually been through the fire with experience, give him a shot to be in that position.
No, it's interesting. It seemed like such an out of the box. It seemed like a panic move. I don't know. It did not work out, and I don't know where Jeff is now, and the Colts have moved on. All right, last thing before I let you go, I do want to talk about your upcoming fights, but I got to ask you something. Is it difficult? Like Baker Mayfield is following Tom Brady. How difficult is that? And I'm not talking about on the field. Obviously, you got to win. Everything takes care of itself. But I'm talking about in the locker room. You're following a guy that when he walked in there with the Buccaneers, man, I don't care how good you were. You're like, oh, hell, that's Tom Brady. We're seeing it now with Aaron Rodgers and Hard Knocks, how the players are reacting. How difficult is that for Mayfield on a daily basis in the building?
It's not, man, because, once somebody like Tom Brady leaves your organization, leaves the team, you got a bunch of just a change of pace. Different eyeballs, different guys in the locker room. Nobody, I can guarantee you, nobody in that locker room expecting Baker Mayfield to step in Tom Brady's shoes in no shape, form, or fashion, right? Not talent-wise, not leader-wise, not anything-wise. There's no comparison. Nobody's saying, hey, you got to step in here, do what Tom did. I can guarantee you that none of that's going on. Now, the stakes become higher because you just had a Hall of Fame quarterback, the best quarterback, that ever played the game in the building, who ran things a certain way. So, yeah, there's going to be some comparisons from the outside in, not from the guys in the locker room. They know that there's no comparison with Tom Brady and Baker Mayfield. But outside, you can definitely tell a difference when you have someone like Tom Brady leaving the organization.
What's going on in your fight world?
Yeah, we got a huge fight coming up next Saturday at Casino Palma in San Diego. You can get your tickets at lightsoutxf.com. We'll be live on Fubo TV, Fubo Sports. I'm excited about this one because it's our first time in San Diego for Lights Out. We got 70 or 80%, I think close to 80% now of local talent that's on the card. And, that's my old stomping grounds, man. We want to go here and do it right. You can, if you're in Southern California, man, come. It's going to be a great show. Probably have a couple thousand people there, but going to be a tremendous show, man. But check us out on Fubo TV, Fubo Sports if you don't have it.
Appreciate you. Thanks, Shawne.
You got it. Thanks for having me.
His fights are great, man. Fubo TV, give it a chance. Seriously, just give it one chance, and I think you're going to love it. I do. I think you'll be back for more and more and more. It's just, I don't know. I got guys arguing with me all across Indiana. Look, here's the deal. I'm not arguing with nobody. The bottom line in my world is to win. The bottom line in my world wasn't before. I want to make sure everybody graduated. I want to make sure we raised enough money. I want to make sure everybody went to class. Let me tell you something. As a fan, and I'm really only a fan of a couple of teams, Harvard softball has now turned into Indiana softball as my stepdaughter is now going to Indiana. Illinois State basketball, the Cubs. Other than that, that's about it for me. I don't really have any allegiance. I don't really have any root for. But I do have history, 17 years with Indiana basketball. And I'm tired of all you Indiana basketball fans. Reason this pops up right now is because Indiana basketball fans are arguing. They had a fan fest, and Indiana basketball fans are arguing about, well, where are we going to give money? I got a guy, Dan, I value opinion. It feels different. The players want to win with Woodson. They like and respect him. I don't think Archie ever had that. Really? They literally quit in an NCAA game against Miami. Literally quit. Quit. Q-U-I-T. Quit. By the way, let's go back to Chicago crime. This just came out. 23 armed robberies were reported yesterday during morning and evening surge. For a second time in a week, Chicago police saw an armed robbery in progress firsthand. They did not pursue the offenders. How about that? How about that? You want to know? You want to know what's wrong in our country? We're not pursuing offenders of armed robbery in major cities. We're not. Now, if you want to know what's wrong with our country, if you want to know, there it is. We have weak everything. Weak is not good. I don't give a damn what you think. Weak is horse bleep. Weak sucks. Weak's terrible. Weak's ridiculous. Weak's awful. Don't be weak. I don't give, and if that offends you, tough. Don't be weak. Remember I told you this was going to be ongoing? Do you remember I told you? Northwestern football. Here's the latest. A group of former Northwestern players sent an open letter criticizing the university's administration for a lack of due process for the firing of Pat Fitzgerald. saying it left a welcome mat out for the weaponization of sexual harassment, hazing, and racial allegations. It's signed by 86 ex-athletes, several football players. The group focuses on the president, Schill, the athletic director, Craig. If Craig wasn't African-American, he'd have been fired a long time ago. Both displayed a clear failure of unbiased and principled leadership. Schill and Craig, the letter says, should be fired, the former athletes contend, if they don't positively support our athletic programs with due process. There you go. They need to, according to this group, release the findings of the investigation that Northwestern commissioned into the hazing allegations. These players say, found evidence that largely supported the players' allegations, but insignificant evidence that Fitzgerald or other coaches were aware of the hazing. That's what the thing said. The letter contends that the president, Schill, was influenced by social media reaction and abandoned fundamental legal actions. By willfully ignoring due process, Northwestern left a welcome mat for the weaponization of sexual harassment, hazing, and racism. Look, one thing I know, the easiest thing to say, he verbally abused me. Like, you got to tiptoe around. I remember when I asked the promotions director very nicely at Emma's, I said, hey, why are we running a show same time as our show? That was coming at her. He came at me. I go, I did? I sat in a chair. I said, why are we running the show same time as our show? That seems counterproductive. It's kind of the same audience. I mean, it's unbelievable. The tippy toes you have to be. He verbally abused me. It's all crap. You know it's all crap. Everybody knows it's all crap. If you ever hear somebody use the term verbal abuse, it's crap. I'm just telling you, it's crap. Because absolutely everything. This, I thought we had this. I guess we don't. I thought we did. But Joe Mixon, or maybe I missed it. I'm sure I missed it. Joe Mixon, he of the lights out punch of the girl in the Chipotle in college, and then all of the activity in his backyard, which resulted in, good for Joe Mixon. He was found not guilty in an aggravated menacing case. Some kids were playing Nerf, were going to shoot each other, and Mixon, apparently his people were out there. But anyway, Mixon was found not guilty. So Joe Mixon is saying, hey, I'm not talking to you news outlets. And I think we're all the better for it. Have you ever really heard Joe Mixon say anything that's interesting? He's mad at ESPN, Sports Illustrated, the Cincinnati Enquirer, Pro Football Network. It's not happening. The behavior was disrespectful. See, I support this. I support Joe Mixon doing this. If Joe Mixon felt like or feels like these organizations slandered him, if he feels like these organizations misrepresented him, then he shouldn't speak to them. Why waste your breath on these people? Why say anything? Now, does that ultimately hurt or help Joe Mixon? Of course it don't matter. Like what I've seen of Joe Mixon, it's not like he's going to go host Good Morning Football or he's going to host Get Up anytime in his future. Joe Mixon, about 5 years after playing, will get into some kind of trouble. You can make book on it. Now, you can call that whatever you want, racist, sexist, whatever, misogynist, whatever you want to call it. But Joe Mixon, 5 years after, will get into some kind of trouble. He just will. I'm just saying. There's a lawsuit going on. I hope Joe Mixon doesn't talk to us. I want to be included on that, Joe Mixon. I think that's fun. I think that's the way it should be. Joe Mixon, include us. We want you to boycott us. We do. Why wouldn't we? All right, let's woke-a-dopa. We got woke-a-dope for you, man. I got to tell you, the world is insane, and I'm here for all of it. And I love the woka, and I love the dopa. Let's see it. That's it. That's it right there. You are a right-wing extremist. You are a far-right human being if you have a daughter, a son, a wife, a dog, and, ladies and gentlemen, you care for them. Now I'm going to say that again. This is how you are a right-wing extremist. If you are married, have a nuclear family, and take care of that family. I am proud in this world to be, I guess, a right-wing extremist because I take care of my family. I have a dog. I have a beautiful wife, great kids. I'm a right-wing extremist. Isn't it amazing? Like, you're a racist if you have that. You're sick. You're a degenerate. You're whatever. Child, please. Child, please. Dan, look at that miserable family. The real threat to America in 2023. Yeah. These are the same people that'll tell you that $4.95 gas is better than $1.45 gas. Van Pasterman says, whew, thank God I only got 4 kids and a dog. Isn't that awesome? Hey, Dan. King Nut said, I open the door for people and I pick up trash. I'm a big racist. I just did something really gross and I want to share it with you. This ear hole I got gets waxing and I just blew it out so I can put it back in my ear and I can hear out of it. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. All right, what's next? Fired from Disney's Mandolin for describing how Hollywood hates Republicans. Hired by Disney to portray Snow White. Yes, she hates the original story and every character in it. I got to tell you, I haven't talked about this little pain in the prick, but this little girl on the bottom can kiss my ass. This little girl on the bottom is such a little pain in the ass that there's no reason to go see the show. There's literally no reason. This little girl is such a pain in the ass. Every time she speaks, every time this woman speaks, I want to puke. She's an entitled little pain in the ass. And frankly, I'm sad that she's on my show. I am. Rachel Ziegler. Rachel Ziegler is all mad. And Rachel Ziegler is the absolute poster child. She is the poster child for the modern little pain in the ass. I mean, just a little pain. I don't like any of it. She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's leading about becoming the leader. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. NPR says the comments she makes, paired with the fact that the actress's complexion and Polish-Colombian background didn't fit the standards of many online trolls, lending the Ziegler name to be inundated with quotes. No, No, you can say whatever you want. You can spin it however you want. It has nothing. She's a hot girl. She's a hot girl. What can I tell you? The 91-year-old original director, David Pham, said it's a whole different concept. I just disagree with it. I know that my dad and Walt would disagree with it. They change the stories. They change the thought process. All right. It has nothing to do with her complexion. It has nothing to do with her being now Polish-Colombian. Now that's something that we're racist against. No. It has to do with she comes off as an entitled little prick. Period. I don't even give a damn about the story. If you ask me what the story of Snow White was, I'd say, I don't know. Not my genre. But I saw her interview, and she was god-awful. I hope the world becomes kinder, she says. Okay. Me too. I love you forever and ever. And remember, be kind. Treat each other with patience and empathy. Yeah, there's some 22-year-old. Uh-huh. Yeah, all right. All right, we'll read about it. You know what we're going to read about. Well, the online harassment was so bad I contemplated suicide 10 years from now. You know it's coming. It comes with everybody. Everybody knows it's coming. Everybody. Total infinitum. What do you got? What's next? I'm so sad. I was so sad. The online stuff was so bad. Oh, he's gone no days. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to lie to us out in Maui. The public pressure on him was so intense after he smugly, stupidly, ridiculously said no comment about the fires in Maui. Man, those get more tragic every day. Did you see the clown who is basically in charge of the water distribution had a video talking about water as equity? We got to be equitable about our water. So he would not release for like 5 hours water to certain areas because it wasn't equitable. While people burned, people died, and property was destroyed. I mean, is that amazing? It really is amazing. You know, one of the things that we got to do, be equitable. I want to be a running back in the NFL. I'm a middle-aged white guy. If we were all equitable, I would get to be a middle-aged white guy. I would. I'd get to be a running back. Why can't I participate in a 100-yard dash? Why can't I do that? 100 meters. I want it all equitable. I should be allowed to be in the Olympics just because. I should be allowed to be a cornerback in the Olympics. A cornerback in the NFL. Why not? I mean, if everything is about equity, particularly people's lives, I don't know how we can't do that. And the guy that did this equity thing looks exactly like what you would think. You can take that for whatever it's worth. Kealo Manuel, the former director of the Hawaii Commission on Water Resource Management, waited more than 5 hours to release water during the wildfires. In a live stream debate last year, he described water as a sacred god. Jesus. He considered water an important tool for social justice. This D-bag. While homes burned, while everything burned. Of course, they got him to another position. He got fired, he got moved, because this idiot wouldn't give water to people fighting fires. Now, I want you to think about that just for a second. This idiot, he's a symptom, a devastatingly evil symptom of what's going on here in our country. I'm not doing this. I'm going to watch people get hurt because of equity. I'm not going to arrest people because there's too many African American folks being arrested. I'm going to let people loot because if I stop them, then I could be considered racist. All in the name of equity. My God. Look, you do you, I do me. We judge people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. And we catch hell about it. We absolutely catch hell about it. But that's okay. We're willing to catch hell because Dr. Martin Luther King said it, and we believe it. Thanks for joining us today. Coming up at 11, Kent Sterling and I over on Two Big Brains YouTube channel are going to be talking all local stuff. And I got a lot to say about Indiana basketball. I got a lot to say about the Colts. I got a lot to say about Greg Doyle and the Indy Star whining about the quarterback not playing. Basically, I got a lot to say. We had a great week last week. It's going to be better this week. Nick and Dylan and Ryan and Aaron and Gary and everybody else, thank you. See you.